Thank you very much, and thank you to the Honourable Minister for Guinea, who's really gave you a great intro into just how great a jurisdiction Guinea is at the moment. It really is very much welcoming of investment, and it's a country that's going places, and it's going to go a long way, I think, over the next, especially 15 years to 2040 as per your plan, but I think it will continue beyond that. So. Again, forward-looking statements, no one really going to read them. That's where we are. We border to the south on Andrews deposit there with the Kinero deposit. It has been previously mined, I think, SEMAFO between 2001 and 2013, mined a small 3.5 gram per tonne oxide pit with a tiny little 500,000 tonne per annum mill. It was SEMAFO's first operation in West Africa. They went off to build Mana in Burkina Faso and subsequently got taken over by Endeavour, but we had the benefit of starting with all the infrastructure they left behind, camp, runway, workshops and various other things. So it's been a flying start for us in the development of our project. We've got 2.2 million ounces of indicated resource at the moment. We're building that to our reserve basis. Currently it's sitting at 1.4 million plus ounces of reserve and growing. I think we're constrained both at depth, along strike, and in pretty much every direction just by the depth and density of our drilling. And we really think we're going to increase our reserve basis and mostly with cash flow as we move into an operational phase. We do have a strong record of execution amongst our team. We've been a team that's been together almost unbroken since 2010, since the start of the Bissa project in Burkina Faso. And, we've been through 5 projects and 4 different companies in a pretty much unbroken chain. This being our 6th in 14 years. So it's been quite a journey, and I'm very happy to be in Guinea for this one. We're on track for pouring our first gold in December this year. We're very much, everything is either on the water or on site at the moment, and we're very confident of our ability to get the mill spinning in early December and pour our first bar of gold before Christmas. Well, at worst case, before New Year's. And as I spoke before, we've got a very significant exploration upside. Sorry. That's our corporate snapshot. We've got 2 large, almost personal wealth groups on our register, the Coens and Eglinton Mining. They've been supporters of the project since, at least the Coen Group has been supporters of the project since they first built a small little mine in Mali, which became Nampala, and Eglinton came in as the original owners of the Kinero asset. So I don't think any of the shareholders that have come in since our first round of capital, which took place in June last year, I don't think anyone sold a share. We've got some very, very supportive shareholders. We're a very, very tightly held register, and I guess that contributes to our low liquidity, but having low liquidity is sometimes a very good thing as you move into into your first gold pour, because people won't have to buy a market, they have to move the price. So it's I've got some good advice from the chairman of Emerald on that. It says, don't worry too much about liquidity, just concentrate on what you're doing and start kicking goals. So that's where we're at the moment. Where I think the market, when I checked it, was about $4.25 per share a few minutes ago, and we're moving very quickly towards our first gold and significant free cash flow. It's our board of management. Myself, Clinton, Demetrius and Gwendol have all worked together numerous times, primarily at Nordgold, but then some of us through WAF and then into Tietto. So this is the 4th company we've worked together with at. It's a very experienced board led by Jim Askew. John Dorwood, Howard Golden, Gerard and Toma, and we're working together to really get this over the line. That has been my record, at least in leading projects in West Africa. It goes back further as like a younger engineer, but from being project director at Bissa to just over a year spent being general manager at LIFA through the Ebola crisis that hit Guinea at that time. Moving back to Burkina for a 12 million tonne or 8 million tonne per annum heap leach, and then a short holiday in Siberia for 2 years to build a 12 million tonne per annum heap leach there, and then on to Sombrado with WAF, and then ultimately Abidjan, and on to now Robex. So it's been a pretty much core team through the whole point. My commercial managers, my construction managers, my design managers and my earthworks managers have been with me through that whole process, through all those companies, and yeah, we're convinced we're going to find another asset to build after this one. That's the core tenements of the country we're working in. It's a 15% government free carry. I note that free carry has remained unchanged for the last at least 15 years. The Guinean government takes a standard corporate tax rate of 30%, a government royalty that's flat at 5%, and then we've got a few other royalties from previous owners of our resource. But it is said the Guineans have been nothing but supportive. They've managed to maintain a very stable investment jurisdiction through some of the sort of political upheaval in their country, and of course the Honourable President General Mamadou Doumbouya has been what I can only call an inspirational leader for Africa. He's really put the country in a place where investment is welcome, and it's and there are funds flowing in from pretty much, well, most of the major countries on earth, Australia being one of them, maybe not a major country, but certainly a significant one. And it's 40% of the world's bauxite. It's more than 10% of the world's seaborne iron ore. I think sometime next year they should hit that target. And there is road, rail, bridges being built all over the country. It's an amazing sight to see, and we're happy to be in Guinea, and we hope we can keep this country moving forward towards their 2040 development plan. That's the DFS highlights of Kiniera. At the moment, we've got a life of mine of just over 9 years, a strip ratio of 2 to 1. It's at least it's a lower strip ratio in the early years. As I said, we're still completely constrained by drilling. We've got a mine grade of just over 1 gram per tonne. Existing stockpiles of over 11 million tonnes at about 0.4 grams per tonne. So there's already material to feed through the mill, and profitable material at this current gold price. So we have an all-in sustaining cost of just under $1,100 an ounce, and at our current $3,500 an ounce gold price, it puts our NPV at $1.2 billion, discounted by 5%. And yeah, we are literally less than 4 months away from first production there. So we're moving quickly. That's where we've been. This schedule hasn't really changed since I came into the company in June last year. We have pushed out slightly on our Mansunya permitting, but that doesn't matter because we're already permitted to start mining in a Sabali pit. We have come to the ASX. All our major equipment packages, our engineering, all our construction is more or less as advanced. We have done a significant amount of advanced grade control, and we're about to start moving the first ore to the ROM pad later this month. So we're moving towards it. The major construction works are well underway. We have electricals, piping, instrumentation, and the power station all on site. And we're very much on track to achieve first gold this year again. That's the SAG mill going in. You can see the liner handler on the deck there. The ball mill's in the background there, and you can see the trommel there as well. So in the next month, you'll see both mills up on that deck. You'll see the agitators going in the CIL tanks. You'll see the crusher in place, and you'll see the structural steel start to fill in the missing parts around the plant. Conveyor sections going in, and at current plan is we'll have all the structural steel on site by the end of this month, and yeah, we'll be in a part where we're well into the commissioning in November, at least starting the commissioning process in November, and starting up the mill in December and pouring first gold soon after that. So it's interesting colour for the CIL tanks, but I thought that's a legacy issue. But they are pretty much all that top tank steel is done. You can see the gold room going up there. You can see the power station in the aerial view of the site in the foreground there. All the generators are on site. There's 8 Hyundai sets, heavy fuel oil generators, and yeah, you can see the crusher structural steel being put in right now. So yeah, it is exciting, and you know, it's kind of something I've done so many times before. It feels like second nature, but it's always great to see the first gold bar come along. Tailings dam, as you can see, it's the wall in front of the tailings dam is rising. We'll be closing that off once the rain stops next month and finishing the rest of the basin lining. Yeah, it's already in a stage where we could start depositing tailings there if we needed to. The saprolite crusher with a sizer there. So we have 2 feeds for, you know, ore into the plant through the jaw crusher and through the saprolite crusher. That saprolite crusher is the last little piece of concrete we've got to finish, and it'll well and truly be finished by the end of the month. You can see there all the GC cuttings in Sabali pit. That's evidence that the grade control program is well and truly advanced, and we'll, yeah, there is mining fleet on site. You can't see it in that photo, but it will be digging ore and moving it to the ROM pad by the end of this month. That's sort of overview of our pits. As you can see there, Monsooner and Sabali will end up being one contiguous pit. We did an infill program earlier this year. We joined up the 2 pits with an inferred pattern. We will infill that later on this year or early next year and join Sabali and Monsooner in one contiguous pit. That's, you know, approximately 3 kilometres long and over 500 metres wide, just the ore body in the actual pit. So it's big, it's wide. Monsooner and Sabali have a 1-to-1 strip ratio. At surface, it's a 0 strip. You know, there's ore at surface. It's a big, wide ore body. It's simple metallurgy, and you know, big oxide, very little blasting, and almost exclusively free dig, and very low bond work indexes through the mill. So you know, starting up on all oxide for the first 4 years is going to be a gift. Unless you've actually started a mine, you don't realise how big a gift that oxide is, but it really does fly through your mill like butter. So we can't wait to hit the ground running and start the mill feeding ore. That's a snapshot, and I hurry up here because I'm almost out of time, but it's of our exploration package, and you can see the bleed samples there. It just highlights our surface ore, and pretty much everywhere we put a hole, you know, where there's been a geochem anomaly, we found a resource. There are significant highlights like geochemical anomalies to our north in Mancan Filon Bleu, and that's a target area we're going to focus on over the next 12 months. And I think we're going to have diamond rigs spinning sometime in the next 3 months, drilling underneath SGA gene complex, and that was the pit that Semifo mined at 3.5 grams per tonne in all oxide. So that's well and truly an underground grade at the moment. We've hit we put 1 hole underneath it. We hit, you know, over 6 metres at over 10 grams and 10 metres at over 6. And yeah, we're, you know, quietly confident there's a potential not only to make that pit bigger, but potentially introduce an underground operation which will further complement our production profile. That's where we are. Corporate snapshot. You know, we've delivered everything we set out to do just over 15 months ago when I took over, and yeah, we're moving towards Q4 gold pour, which is always our original intention. That's our catalyst. You know, we are literally every one of those boxes was unticked 15 months ago, and every single one of them, except for that first gold, is ticked now, and we'll well and truly hit that target in December this year. So Thanks very much.